Hello friends, I am Sanyukta and today we are going to be learning another new Zentangle original pattern, and the pattern is called poke root. We will also be learning one more pattern called poke leaf because these two patterns are drawn almost in the same way initially, and later on their look varies a little, right? So poke root and poke leaf are two patterns that we are going to be learning today. So the basic pattern poke root starts with two parallel lines, a small line on the top of those lines just to close the line, and then a round shape or a circle surrounding this parallel line, drawn in such a way that this stem comes almost to the center of the round shape. The pattern poke leaf also starts in the same way, two parallel lines indicating the stem. Since these are both organic patterns, so these you can call them stems, and then a leaf shape is the pattern poke leaf. Since they both start in the same way, we will be learning these two patterns and using them today. So that's the pattern poke root and that's the pattern poke leaf, right? So today we are going to use this style. I have drawn an enclosure kind of a thing with my pencil. You can call it a pencil string. So we'll start right away and start filling up this enclosed space or section with poke root and poke leaves, right? So starting with poke root, poke leaf. So as I discussed in my earlier sessions also, although the name of the tangles have nothing to do with how they look, but exceptions are always there, right? So as you can see, I am drawing behind and using the technique, the hollywog effect, which I discussed in one of my previous sessions also, the technique of drawing behind as if the poke root is going behind this leaf, and the technique is called the hollywog effect. So I am drawing a series of poke root and poke leaves alternatively. So I was talking that although the names of the patterns in Zentangle do not generally bear any relation to how they look, but this is an exception. Actually, poke root is actually a poke root plant, also called as poke root weed or poker weed or pokerberry plant, generally found in New London, and the look of the plant is somewhat similar to what we are drawing, right? So I am drawing a series of poke root and poke leaves here. A very organic looking tangle, used very frequently. So again, using the technique of drawing behind, and filling up the space with. You must be noting one more thing here. The pattern poke leaf is such that it just fits into any space that is available, right? So it's not a rule that you have to draw it in a certain way, that the leaf has to be perfect in shape. If you are noticing, I am kind of manipulating the shape of the leaf as per the space that I have, and that's the beauty of the pattern. So although the poke roots remain more or less round in shape, but you can always manipulate the poke leaves a little bit here and there to fit in the shape that is available to you. So filling in the space that I have, starting the other side. I think by now you have got the hang of how to draw the pattern. 2 stems, a line to close the outlet of the stem, and a round shape drawn in such a way that the stem almost come to the center of the root, right? And the same exercise with poke leaf also. However, the poke leaf, you can vary the shape here and there. Need not be a perfect leaf shape, right? So I am filling up this entire area with the roots and the leaves. I will be using a very simple string, just made an enclosure, a curvy enclosure, and filling it up with my tangle. You can use any other string. The idea is just to divide the tile into certain sections, and then it is up to you whether you wish to abide by those sections or you want to kind of breach the borders or the strings here and there, right? So you can already see it's a very organic looking tangle. At times looks like a creeper or a hedge, or sometimes like a weed growing on a wall. Acts as a very good border tangle also, especially poke leaves, as well as an excellent filler also. Once you learn the tangle, you would know how easy it comes. Just like the pattern tipple. Right, so we are almost done. I am continuously rotating my tile so that my hand is comfortable. It's very important that your hand is in a comfortable position, and for that you need to keep rotating the tile. So now I am going to add an outline. Actually, I am inking the string that I have made, because I want the string to be a part of the finished tile, and to show, right? Generally the string dissolves into your finished tile, but if you are wanting to highlight your string, then you can also ink it. So what I am going to do next is, I have taken my micron 08, extending these lines here to the corner. As you can see in this tile, I have done away with the borders. So drawing a thick line, with my 08 and adding an aura to the original shape that I had drawn, right? the curvy enclosure that I have drawn, I am adding an aura to it with my thicker micron 08. So I'll be doing the same exercise here also, this side. Drawing a thick line. Auraing the original enclosure that I have drawn. Right? So now what I am going to do is, you can see the small spaces left in between, so it is up to you whether you want to fill up those spaces, or you can also add the pattern tipple, right? So I am just going to be adding the pattern tipple here. Alternatively, the spaces are too small, you can also color it, right? So I am adding very small version of tipple here and filling up the spaces that are left in between, or the intersectices as they call in Zentangle terminology, right? Or you can choose to color it with black ink. It is entirely up to you. It looks good anyways. So I am going to be filling up these intersectices with small tipple, right? So as you can see here, I am almost done with filling up the intersectices with the tipple. So all the small little spaces that were left in between, I have filled it up with the pattern tipple, right? So now what we are going to do is just use our micron 01 and 08 alternatively and keep adding auras to the shape, to which I have already added one aura. I am just going to be repeating the shape and adding the more number of auras, but I am going to make slight variation by varying the width of the line that I am drawing, right? So used an 08, again going to use 01, again using the same 01, adding one more line of aura, again using my 08, again going to use my 01. So you can see I am not doing anything except adding auras to the first line that I had drawn, just alternating the nib size to give it a different look. The technique recently shown by Rick Roberts in one of the latest project packs What I am doing is inspired from that. So in case you are a beginner and you are still wondering where to find authentic information about Zentangle, then you must visit its official website, that's zentangle.com, or follow blog Zentangle, or subscribe to Zentangle's YouTube channel or Facebook page. Right? So I am going to be doing this exercise, the same exercise on all the 4 sides. So again, picked up my micron 01. I am going to be adding auras. Right? So again, picking up my 08, adding a thick line, again adding 2 lines using my 01, adding another line, right? Again switching my pen. You can see here I finished oraing all the 4 areas, and I have alternatively used 08 and 01 to give it this effect. Now we come to shading a poke root or poke leaf. There are again various ways you can go about shading it. So either you can shade on one side, right? So shade like this, or you can shade it here like this, or if you wish, just to give it the effect that the stem is piercing the poke root, at times you can also shade it at this point here, right? So there are various ways you can go about it. The same applies to poke leaves also. You can either shade on one side, or you can shade here, or you can shade the stem from this part, giving the effect that it is piercing the leaf, right? So in my current tile, I am going to be shading the pattern as a whole, right? So I am not going into individual poke root and poke leaves. As I mentioned earlier also in my sessions, you can either go into the elements of the pattern, shade the pattern individually, or you can shade the pattern as a whole. So I am going to be adding some thick graphite at the corners, I am going to blend it in. Again, as I mentioned earlier, giving the pillow effect, that is, the corners seem to be receding and the center kind of pops up. So the center will be light. I will not be adding any graphite in the center, and I am, as you can see, adding thick graphite to the corners, and I will blend it in so as to darken the corners and keep the center white. You can individually shade each poke root and poke leaf also if you wish. That's another way of shading, as I showed you. So now that we have added the graphite, with my blending stump I'm just going to pull the graphite towards the center, but not covering the entire space, leaving some portion as white. So you can see how dark are the corners and the center kind of pops up. As far as the auras are concerned, I am going to put some graphite at the places where the folds are appearing. Right? So some graphite at the point at which the lines are taking the curve, right? So I'm just going to blend it in. Giving the effect of curve, as if these are folds, right? A lot of information about Zentangle is also available on the website tanglepatterns.com, and you can also go to mustardvalley.de. So now what I am going to do is add some highlight using my white charcoal. So I'll be using my white charcoal pencil to highlight. That's general white charcoal. The center and add some highlight here. Highlighting the folds. Right. That's about it. So that's the tangle pattern poke root and poke leaves. If you wish, you can also add a slight curve at one side of the poke leaves to give it a folded kind of a look, right? So I'm just adding a few curves here and there to give it the effect of a folded leaf. So now I'm going to initial my tile. Going to sign and date it. Take a moment to appreciate your tile, right? And we'll meet again in our next session with another new Zentangle original pattern. Till then, take care and goodbye.